Now let's quickly look at some of the figures of speech that we have in English literature. Okay, as we know, figure of speech is just a departure from the ordinary way of seeing things into the deeper realm. So the normal way we talk, by the time we deviate from the normal to the non-ordinary, by the time we express our language in a deeper sense, what we have becomes figurative. So figure of speech is a way of talking by beautifying our language so that it departs from the ordinary to the non-ordinary. So it departs from the um, familiar to the unfamiliar so as to create beauty in communication. So um, let's look at the figures of speech that we have. Now we have simile. Simile is just a direct comparison between two things or nouns that are different or unlike with the use of as or like as markers. Examples: the boy eats like a native fowl, where the boy and the native fowl are different. Okay, good. Now, but they are compared because of one similarity or the other. Now, example two: the girl is as tall as an electric pole. Alright, where the person compared is human and the electric pole different. So you also have simile there. Now let's look at metaphor. In metaphor, what you have is an indirect comparison between two things that are different without the use of as or like. So in metaphor, what you say is one thing is another. For example, John is a native fowl. John has been replaced with a native fowl. That's replacement. Example two, you can have a case of the girl is an electric pole, whereas in simile you have the girl is as tall as an electric pole. But in metaphor, just go ahead to equate the person with whatever you want to equate the person with. Okay, so that's that. Now let's look at the fact that idioms are all metaphors. Proverbs are all metaphors. Why? Because they all operate by replacement. Now let's look at what they call synedoche. Synedoche is simply a figure of speech in which a part is used to represent a whole, or a whole is used to represent a part. For example, all eyes on me, where your eyes are used to represent you, all right, looking at the person in question. All hands must be on deck for the job to be done. Okay, we fed many mouths. So all these are examples of synedoche. Now let's also look at metonymy. Unlike synedoche, or unlike synedoche, metonymy has to do with using something related to it in representing it. That thing you are using to represent it is not part of the body of that thing, but it's only related. All right, can have a case of White House gave an order. That White House is related to U.S. president. Okay, where you have a case of the pen is mightier than the sword, where the pen is related to education and the sword related to war. Meaning you can use your intelligence to forestall or prevent any form of violence. All right, you can have a case of he runs after anything in skirts, where the skirt there represent girls, meaning the person is a chronic womanizer. All right. Then you can have a case of the counsel for the defense address the bench, where the bench there represents the magistrate or the judges. Okay, good. We are all going to pay tribute to the crown, where the crown there represent royalty, that the king or the queen. Okay, good. Now let's quickly look at what they call oxymoron. In oxymoron, what you do is to put two opposite words side by side. Examples: honest thief, bitter sweet, dry saliva, poisonous pleasure, living dead, walking corpse. All these are examples of oxymoron. Then antithesis is a sister figure of speech to uh, oxymoron. In antithesis, you compare two things, or you put side by side two opposite statements. Okay, examples: united we stand, divided we fall. That's two long statements that are directly put side by side. Now you have to err is human, to forgive is divine. That's another antithesis. Yes, you can have a case of I hate that I love you. Okay, so that's another antithesis. Man proposes, God disposes. So that's another example. All right. So in our next video, we are going to look at some other figures of speech.